Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the Meteor channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Overdress. In this video, we will be going through the mommy alien herself, which is Gravidia Nordlinger, the rip-off version, or maybe the descendant of Dark Phrase Gredora, who knows. Now, Gravidia Nordlinger focuses on the board control, and also she is one of the most explosive power gain deck at the moment for Overdress. There's one of her skills that actually allows her to activate your trigger effects twice, which in the case of over trigger, it's gonna be really scary and it's gonna be really disgusting. This deck also mainly focus on getting the Meteor order, which is this card, in the order zone, as well as using them as a resources from the order zone and place them into the drop zone, and therefore activate some of the skills. And then also it also depends on how many Meteor order you put from your order zone to the drop zone. You can therefore activate a certain amount of skills, and something always happens when the Meteor enters or leaves the order zone. This deck at the moment only features a 3 attack, since this is only the first debut of this deck. So of course Bushido is not gonna introduce like a very absurd amount of power level for this deck. However, the con side of this deck is you will tend to deck out really frequently if you are not really careful in managing your own resources, because this deck does soul charge a lot, but those soul charge is optional. You have the option to choose whether or not you want to soul charge or you don't want to soul charge, and also you want to draw or you do not want to draw, which I will talk about it in when we go through the skills of Gravidia as well as her minions. This deck technically has an increased chances of drive checking into triggers as well as damage checking, because you actually do a lot of filtering out of the deck. I do recommend this deck for a experienced player, because this deck, it does requires you to read your tempo right. If you don't read your tempo right, and then for some reason you commit most of the Meteor order and dump each and every Meteor order to the drop zone, and for some reason you don't drive check into a trigger, then that's it. You're basically not doing much. And also Alien Mama team. First off, of course, we have everyone's favorite Gravidia Dellen, the stutter. Of course, the stutter, nothing really much to talk about. It's the same skill, nothing really much has been changed after the 3 sets. Next up is the great one right line, which is Gravidia Wells. Auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, look at the 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose any number of meteorite cards, reveal them and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. Second skill, active, rearguard, once per turn. If a Vanguard is Gravidia Nordlinger, Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 meteor cards from your hand, put them into your auto zone, and this unit plus 2k until the end of turn. So this card does gives you kind of like a deck filtering skill, because you check the top 7, you choose any number of meteorites card and put them into your hand, which is a form of filter. For example, if you check the top 7 and among those 7 cards there's 5 meteorites, that's instantly 5 normal units that is not a trigger out from your deck, which will means that your dry check as well as damage check will most probably has an increased chance to be a trigger, and hence why you might be facing a decking out issue. Of course, she does, I think it's a she does setups for Nordlinger skill when she comes to play, which we will talk about later. And of course, since this one is put into your hand, you're still able to play the Meteor order after using the second skill. You're still able to put a total of 3 meteorite card by using the second skill into the order zone, which is kind of nuts. So what is the meteorite? Here we have Neatness Meteor Shower, which is the meteorite card. Continuous, you may have up to 16 Neatness Meteor Shower in your deck. Auto, when this unit is put into the order zone, you may soul charge 1. If it was put by your Vanguard ability, you may draw a card. Third skill, auto, when this card is put into your drop zone from the order zone, choose one of your opponent's rearguard and retire it. You can play up to 16 meteors, which means that this deck will technically be full of order cards. I don't really think you want to put even more order cards into this, but don't let me stop you from playing however you want, unless of course Bushido says otherwise. The soul charge part of this skill is not really mandatory, because you may soul charge 1, and also the drawing part is also not mandatory because you may. So whenever this card is put, you get to either soul charge 1 or draw 1. So either one is optional. You don't really have to soul charge 1 and draw 1 every single time you put this card, because if you put all 16 meteorites order in the order zone, you're gonna draw a total of 32 cards out from your deck, and most likely you're gonna deck out really fast. And also this card does features a retiring skill, which is quite nice, but then there comes the problem where, because at the moment there's nothing for Gravidia to actually recycle your meteor cards from the drop zone and put them back to the order zone. So this whole deck will be focusing particularly particularly on this card. Next up is the grade 2 right line, Gravidia Barringer. Auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, if you have a meteorite in your order zone, so blast 3, draw a card. And this unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. Continuous Rearguard, if your drop and order zone has a total of 5 or more sets orders, this unit gets 5k power. Active on your opponent's turn 2. Now, this card, of course, when you place, you get to Soul Blast 3 to draw a card is always nice. And plus, she does get a 5k, which in a sense, even you just attack with Barringer, your opponent guards with a trigger, which is gonna most likely be a 15k shield. It's still gonna be a 1 pass. So either your opponent wants to no guard or basically just throw down and gamble on a trigger check. 5k is always nice for the grade 2 turn. She by herself will be a 20k, but of course the 5k here, the one of the 5k is gonna be on place. If for some reason she does survive her turn, she's gonna be at 15k base. And of course that is provided you have 5 or more set order cards out in your drop zone or your order zone. Next is Big Mama himself, Gravidia Nordlinger. Auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, search your deck for up to 2 meteorites cards, put them into your order zone and shuffle your deck. Auto, Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, counterblast 1 and put 1 or more meteorites from your order zone into your drop. Until the end of the battle, this unit plus 15k power. If you put 3 or more meteorites into your drop zone for this cost, it gets critical plus 1. And if you put 5 or more, your trigger effect activates twice. So of course, the moment this card is being placed, you're able to filter out 2 meteorites from your deck and put them into the order zone and therefore activate the meteorite cards. You can either soul charge 1 or you can draw 1, which you may possibly don't really necessarily need to soul charge, but the draw 2 is always nice. And then of course, this is the only card that actually allows you to draw from the meteor order, because she's the only one that plays a meteor order to your order zone. And most of your other stuff does not really place. I mean, they do, just that they are on rearguard. The power level varies depending on the RNG as well as your trigger type, because I guess you don't really need to run like full fronts, but full fronts, it's also kind of nice because you're gonna give 20k power to your front row. But for critical, you can give both your front row rearguards a +1 crit as well as 10k power, since the trigger effect does activate twice. And not to mention the over trigger.
I will have order.
The over trigger does activate twice, so you're gonna see an insane amount of critical just by dry checking into the over trigger, and the power is just insane. This is one of the most explosive power boosts I have seen so far in the history of Vanguard. Now let's take a look at what are the support cards that Gravidia actually has. First off is Gravidia Stunnel, which is the double R. Continuous Rearguards and Guardian Circle. If your drop and order zone has a total of 5 or more set orders, this unit gets 5k power as well as 5k shield. Active on your opponent's turn 2. So this card is a 15k continuous. You just need a total of 5 order cards in your drop and order zone, so it does not really matter, because I think the restriction is kind of dumb, because most likely you're gonna have 5 in total unless for some reason you don't get enough order card out. The 10k shield is actually quite nice. It works on intercept as well as guarding from hand. But then keep in mind is that if you intercept or guard from your hand, it means you're gonna start to lose unit, because you remember you only have 14 units in total. This is not factoring in the extra number of cards that you want to run for the grade 1 or grade 2 right lines. Honestly, this unit is really simple and should do quite well in Gravidia's deck. Next up, we have Gravidia Orgueil, Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attack or boost, if your order zone has 3 or more meteorites, so blast 2, counter charge 1, and this unit plus 5k until the end of turn. This unit is a little bit different. So this unit can attack for 13k or boost with a 13k power, which is nice. And counter charge is appreciated, but not really the most game-breaking support for Gravidia, because you don't really use a lot of counter blast. And plus, I don't think the soul is an issue, because you can soul charge if you choose to soul charge, that is, from the meteorite. For the requirement for you to use the effect, the full effect of this card, it states here that your auto zone has to have 3 or more meteorites. Now, you need to make sure that your order zone has 3 exactly or more meteorites card in your order zone. Only then you're able to soul blast to counter charge. It does not state your drop zone, so whatever meteorite in the drop zone does not count. So you need to make sure you have 3 or more meteorites in your order zone. Only then you're able to soul blast too. So do keep in mind, this is really important, because I foresee some people arguing as well as misplay this card. Next up, we have the Grade 3 common Gravidia Pribram. Auto rearguard. When this unit attack hits, search your deck for up to one meteorite card and put it into your order zone and shuffle your deck. Now, this card is decent, but then because of the whole attacking hit, it's not gonna do a lot. But then of course, if she does attack hit, you're able to filter out one meteorite card from your deck and put it into the order zone, which is quite nice. It also helps satiate the deck's hunger for meteor orders, because you will tend to use a lot once you go into Gravidia Nordlinger. And of course, once again, deck filtering. It's quite nice. It increases your chances of you getting triggers. Quite nice, but I would really appreciate if it's not on hit. Next up, we have the Gravidia, which name I do not understand how to pronounce. Continuous rearguard circle. During battle, this unit attack, if you have 3 or more meteorites in your order zone, when your opponent would call cards from hand to Guardian Circle, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So this is a really decent attacker, because it basically forces your opponent to drop 3 cards, 2 of them being the PG as well as the PG cost, and then the extra card just to make them be able to guard against this card. So if you do draw check into the over trigger or the critical, this card is one of the most dangerous unit in this whole deck to actually guard against. If you do not have a PG, well, you're basically screwed. But even if this card attacks for 10k, your opponent will still have to throw a minimum of 2 cards if they want to guard this card. So it's still quite nice. And the most important thing is this unit is free. You just need to fulfill the requirement and you can use the card to guard restrict your opponent. I do recommend you to attack with this unit first before you attack with your Vanguard, because of course Gravidia Nordlinger will start to put your Meteor to the drop zone. So unless of course you have an excessive amount of meteors in your order zone, then you can attack with Gravidia Nordlinger first. Only then attack with her. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section on what do you think of the Space Mom. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and also do remember to ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.